In this video, we'll look at Mint KDE and folders. Some of this will be repetition from old videos, but there's a lot of new information, so let's get going. I'm opening up a folder just at my home. Here's home and then my home folder. And now I'm going to go ahead and click Find, click for X, and it should find everything file name from here. And it says there are 40 files. Excellent. Well, the content should find more than that. No, same 40 files. Everywhere? Same 40 files. More options? Just grayed out. There's probably a setting somewhere so I could work with this, but nothing here gives me any indication of how to get to it. Let's go ahead and turn off the more options, and we'll look at some of these buttons right here. If I hit back, and back, and back, okay, I had changed settings. Apparently it was different folders in there, but it works and gets me to where I want to go. Hit forward, I get to my search again. I hit up, and it just goes on forever. This searching, I've let it run for 20, 30, 40 minutes. It just keeps going. And there's also this X right here. Where are the rest of the options? They're just gone. All I have is this X right here that says quit searching. Let's go and reset this. We could go back to home, go back to find, hit X, hit that up arrow. That again puts us into that infinite search, keeps going and going. But I could stop this by hitting any of these buttons here. If I hit file name, it stops it. It would also stop if I hit from here or more options. Okay, let's go and close this right here, and we'll create a new folder on the desktop. We've done that before. Just call it new folder. That works just fine. I'll open up the folder, and I'm going to create two text files. Create new text file. Works great. Create new text file, and unlike on the desktop, it now knows to give it a unique name, and I will click OK. I could then go ahead and close this. Two items. I could come here, create new text file. It works here as well. Excellent. But now there's three items, right? What if I mouse over it? No, it just says two items. Now I'll open up this folder, drag it over some. I'm going to right click here, and what happens if I say delete? This is the same folder just open. It should go away. Do I really want to delete this item? I do. It's still here though. The items within it went away, but it still says it's desktop new folder. If I right click and say create new, it looks like it will allow me. We'll try folder. It's going to let me. No, it gives me an error up here. And if I say create new text file, again, it looks like it will let me, but it gives me a completely different way of showing me that it can't. And now when I hit cancel, I get a notification saying it worked. No, it didn't. That notification just lies to you. I can hit the up arrow though and go back to the desktop, hit back, and it will let me get back to it, but then say it does not exist. It's letting me go back to a folder that does not exist. Okay, let's close this again. Create another folder on the desktop. Again, new folder is a fine name, and we'll open that up. This time I want to create two new files. I'll say text file. Just use the standard name. And an HTML file. Again, standard name. Now I was looking at the menus, and I saw that there's a way of comparing these files. Well, how are they different? If I go to Tools, Compare Files, grayed out. Everything I've tried, it's still grayed out. Let's go ahead now, delete this HTML file. Do I really want to delete it? I do. Ooh, maybe I don't. I'm going to hit Edit, Undo Copy. I didn't just copy anything, I deleted something. Undo Copy, do you really want to delete this item? Wait, it said Undo Copy when I deleted something, and now do I really want to delete this? No, I don't really want to delete it, but I'll hit delete anyway, see what happens. And now it says does not exist. If I look at the view menu, they actually have this done well. View mode, icons, compact, and details. Those are three different views. We could look at those. Compact, details, I could get to them right here. Three different views, works great. But then there's this grouping, which is on the toolbar. It looks like it's just the same thing, just another view, but it's not. It groups it. Here in the menu, they know to have that different show in groups. Why don't they know to also do that in the toolbar? These are some minor things, but details matter. I'm going to go to File Properties. And if I look at File Type Options, and I go to Embedding, yes, I could stretch this dialog out larger, but this right here gets clipped off. Just a detail they miss. I'll hit Cancel. I'll go to Permissions. And this also, the content should be content. And yes, again, I could stretch this out and I could show it, But why not have it where it shows it by default? Once again, cutting off information like that just does not look professional. It doesn't work well. Speaking of not working well, I'm going to go ahead and shrink this down. Oh, it's not letting me shrink it down until I close this. It's as small as I can make it for now. Once I close that, I could shrink it down more. That in itself is a little strange. And notice the sidebar got shrunk down as well. Okay, let's make it big again. No, it forgets the size of the sidebar. Let's make that really big just so we can see that well. Shrink it down, make it bigger. It doesn't remember the size of that. Something else which is a little strange, there's two items right here, the menu and the toolbar. They both have arrows showing that there's more to them. Okay, that makes sense. Let's look at this right here, and it shows the items. Of course, when I mouse over it, this is KDE, things can't work the way they should, it just goes away. Then we look at this one here. Instead of coming down here where the other one did, one, it doesn't go away, it stays there, but it's a menu, and I could have my menu items here instead of the menu wrapping around as it does in some other operating systems or as you might expect, and it will keep staying there. It doesn't go away no matter where I move my mouse. We can go ahead and close this window and open up a new one. It remembers that size, so I'll go ahead and open that up more, open this one up, and now I'm going to go ahead and create a tab. File, New Tab, both at my home directory, but maybe this one I want to be in Documents. I'll go back to my home directory, create a new file, give it the default name, that's fine. Oh, but I really want it in Documents, drag it over. It gives me the option to move here, and sure enough, that works. It also gives me the option I could right-click and say Detach Tab. Excellent, I now have two windows. That works roughly like you'd expect. Except, as far as I know, there's no way to put these two back together as tabs. Looking for it, though, a user might stumble into this right here, where it says Attaches Tab to the other window. Well, here, you'd think maybe I'm going ahead getting those tabs I just lost. No, you're getting a different type tab. This tab right here works as having two different applications. In this case, it's the same application, really just same windows. Most people would never even think of that as an application. And it's done very oddly as well. First, if I try to drag this up here, it won't let me. Before I could drag from one tab to the next, now I can't. We also have this as an X right here to close this tab, close this tab. So what is this X going to do? Close, but it only closes one tab. But if I have multiple tabs here, File, New Tab, now when I hit that same thing, you have multiple tabs open in this window. Are you sure you want to quit? Most people won't think of this as its own application. They'll think of it just as a window being open, but you can close current tab or quit. Is quit closing all the tabs? It is, but why don't they say that? I'll hit quit and I'll go ahead and close that. Two types of tabs, they work very differently, inconsistent in how they work. With one, the X does one thing, it does something else in another. Just a bit of a mess there.